What if Yoriichi's wife wasn't killed by a demon? Would Yoriichi be living a peaceful life with his family, or will he still walk down the path of becoming a full-time demon slayer? Well, the biggest change will be that Tanjiro wouldn't even be alive, and here's how. But before that, let's look at why and how this scenario will even become a reality. In the original timeline, the reason Yoriichi got late returning home and lost his wife was because he stopped to help a frail old man. If this time around he doesn't encounter that old frail man and reaches home on time, the situation will be completely different. As soon as the demon approaches their house, Yoriichi will notice him right away and take care of him. How exactly? Since he wasn't a demon slayer during this time. Well, it's already proven that characters weaker than him like Sanemi, Muchiro, and Gyome defeated demons without breathing techniques or Nichiren swords. So there's no reason as to why Yoriichi can't do it too. Now that the demon has been taken care of and Yoriichi's wife is still alive, what will happen next? Well, first things first. Yoriichi's dream was to live a quiet life with his family in a small house. And this dream will be fulfilled in this timeline. Yoriichi will live a peaceful life with his family, so he won't have any reason to become a demon slayer. The big change to this peaceful life will come when he would still hear rumors about demons getting more active, which will influence him to do something since he experienced the dangers himself. However, he still won't be leaving his family to join the demon slayer corps. But what could he do in this situation? Well, he could teach other demon slayers swordsmanship. As he always had that talent for swordplay, he could help the demon slayers even if it's from the sidelines. For the sake of the story, let's say while training the demon slayers, Yoriichi also cultivates sun breathing, which led to the birth of the different variations of breathing styles. Because without these breathing styles, all of them will be, for sure, annihilated in the near future. Now, what other major changes in the story will take place? Firstly, Sumiyoshi, Tanjiro's descendants, wouldn't be saved by Yoriichi and would die at the hands of the demon. This means that there won't be any Kamado family in the future, and that's why Tanjiro wouldn't even be born. Second, Michikatsu won't be saved by Yoriichi when his camp is attacked by a demon, and because he most likely isn't strong enough to handle himself, let's say he would also likely be killed in action. This would be terrible for demons as well, as they would lose their upper rank one. And lastly, Yoriichi's fight with Muzan won't take place. This means Muzan won't have PTSD and Tamayo would still be on his side. Considering all of this, do you think this is a bad turnout for the demon slayers or not? Well, if these were the only changes, then the demon slayers would surely be in a pinch. But also considering that Yoriichi's baby is born and she lives her normal life, then Yoriichi will probably have a number of descendants himself. Descendants who would still have knowledge of sun breathing techniques passed down to them by him. This means in the future, possibly in the Taisho era, there will come a time when a descendant of Yoriichi will be born donning a demon slayer mark with full mastery of the sun breathing technique and possibly even the transparent world and selfless state. Due to his own reasons, he will also walk down the path of becoming a demon slayer, possibly in the same fashion as Tanjiro. But what about other demon slayers? Well, they would still use the other breathing techniques, but it was said in the original timeline that there were other sun breathing users, although not as strong as Yoriichi. They were purged by Muzan and Kokushibo, and since Kokushibo isn't alive and Muzan doesn't have PTSD, there will still be other sun breathing users other than Yoriichi's descendants in the core. Now let's see what changes will happen arc-wise. Starting off from the Mount Natagumo arc, this time Yoriichi's descendant won't need any help in slaying Rui. The descendant himself will be powerful enough to single-handedly decapitate the spider demon and all of the spider family. Taking into account that he has the same personality type as Yoriichi and Tanjiro, he would still be close with Inosuke and Zenitsu. However, he won't interact with other Hashiras this time, as the Hashira meeting won't take place. He will still be sent off to the Infinity Train mission with Rengoku. Over there, he will be a literal menace, as the stronger demons also won't be a burden for him. Enmu would be sidelined and instantly killed with the help of Yoriichi's descendant, which also means that they won't be encountering Akaza, as he was sent to take care of Tanjiro. Rengoku will be left alive, and there will be far less or evidently no injuries at all done to the passengers. As it's going, Yoriichi's descendant might just be the most powerful demon slayer to exist, except for Yoriichi himself, don't you think? The Entertainment District arc and Swordsmith Village arc will also progress smoothly. Tengen would survive without any injuries and wouldn't have to retire. Unless his wife still suggests that he retire and live a peaceful life, then it will depend on him what choice he makes. Furthermore, Mitsuri and Genya from Swordsmith Village will also not be as wounded. Note that Muchiro won't also be present in this timeline, as he was a descendant of Michikatsu who died in his era without having any descendants. Let's just say the one to fill him in will be Rengoku. They will be able to smoothly take care of all the demons, leading to Yoriichi's descendants' potential to be recognized by Ubayashaki, which will result in him becoming a Hashira, breaking even Muichiro's record of being the fastest to become one. Now that he is a Hashira and the Demon Slayers have such an edge over the demons, how will events proceed? One of the likable things that I think will and should happen is that Yoriichi's descendant will try to teach the other Hashira's sun-breathing technique. They will know about its superiority and whatnot. Therefore, they will indulge in a Hashira training arc, just like in the original timeline, but with Yoriichi's descendant. However, none of them will be able to master the sun-breathing technique, but this will cause them to surely unlock Demon Slayer marks in the future, which will greatly help them in the final battle. But if Nezuko isn't present, would the Infinity Castle arc still take place? Well, without the influence of Nezuko, the only other scenario that could lead to this premise would be that Muzan would want to annihilate all the Demon Slayers in a single go because of their growing strength. That's why they will deploy Infinity Castle to take care of the core once and for all. But this also raises doubt and concerns as to why he would do this. But for the sake of our story, let's just say this is how things proceed. Now let's recap as to what forces both sides will have. The Demon Slayers will still have all the Hashiras present, with the exception of Muichiro and the addition of Yoriichi's descendant. While the demons will have already lost most of their forces, the Upper Moons will be the same except for Kokushibo and Kaigaku, who won't come to be in this timeline. This means Upper Moon 1 will be Doma, and following him, Upper Moon 2 will be Akaza, and so on. Well then, what kind of battles will take place now? Yoriichi's descendant, Rengoku and Giyu, will face Akaza, while Sanemi, Gyomei, and Genya, who were supposed to face Kokushibo, will this time assist Shinobu, Kanao, and Inosuke in fighting Doma. Mitsuri and Obanai will still face Nakime. Zenitsu won't be getting a chance to face any upper demon, as Kaigaku will probably be on his side this time. Tengen will also be present with them if he didn't choose to retire. They will help take care of all the other demons present at the castle, and this is how Zenitsu will prove himself to Kaigaku as well. The rest of the events will proceed the same. As Yoriichi's descendant, Rengoku and Giyu fight Akaza. The fight will start off as equally matched. Akaza, with his fighting spirit senses and highly effective blood demon art, will have an edge until Yoriichi's descendant finally starts using his selfless state and transparent world to gain an advantage. Akaza will be defeated because he will misjudge Yoriichi's descendant's fighting spirit. Giyu and Rengoku together will be the front line, and they will work in unison and together overwhelm Akaza, while Yoriichi's descendant will launch the final strike on him. This wasn't so difficult, so do you think the same situation will be occurring in the other fight? Well, yes, but no. Doma, after being outnumbered, will deploy his crystalline divine child blood demon art from the start. He won't be messing around, and his clones will be just as annoying as him. The Demon Slayers will be facing grave difficulties. Kanao, Inosuke, and Genya will be handling Doma's clones, while Sanemi, Gyomei, and Shinobu will take turns attacking Doma. Sanemi and Gyomei will be taking most of the hits, while Shinobu will be the key asset, waiting to inject Doma with her deadly poison, but they won't be getting any chances. It kinda seems hopeless for the Demon Slayers, but what do you think will happen onwards? Well, the fight will last for quite some time before Gyomei and Sanemi are finally able to unlock their Demon Slayer marks. This will help them finally come toe-to-toe with Doma. During their face-off, Shinobu will also get a chance to inject some of her poison inside Doma as well. Doma will start to get pushed back, and he starts noticing his defeat in sight. In a last attempt to take care of all the Demon Slayers in one fell swoop, he will utilize his most powerful blood demon art, Rhyme, Water Lily Bodhisattva, to summon an enormous Bodhisattva statue surrounded by lotuses made of ice. But this also won't be fatal for the Demon Slayers. Without much time remaining, Gyomei is also at his breaking point, because he shouldn't be able to use Demon Slayer mark as he is already past the age of 25. Surprisingly, they will be able to make a final play. Shinobu's poison starts to take effect at the outset of this play. Gyomei will be the tank, while Sanemi and Inosuke will follow up. Genya will of course be launching long-range attack. At the same time, Shinobu will act as bait for Kanao to launch a final attack on Doma, finally beheading him and ending this torturous battle. Well, The Demon Slayers do have quite an edge this time, don't they? Take note, the only ones from the demon side remaining will be Muzan and possibly Tamayo by his side. On the other hand, the Demon Slayers side will have much more numbers in addition to Yoriichi's descendant, who is regarded as the strongest Demon Slayer of this timeline. Final battle will be very intense, considering that Muzan will be at his full strength as no anti-Kibutsuji drug was developed this time around. Now, how do you think the final battle will proceed? The battle will start in the same manner, from Muzan encountering Giyu, Rengoku, and Yoriichi's descendant to Nakame being taken care of, and finally, everyone being transported into the real world. The battle will be the same brutal and one-sided fight at the start. The only ones able to go toe-to-toe against Muzan will be Yoriichi's descendant, and the ones who have unlocked their Demon Slayer marks and can look into the transparent world. Everyone else will be somewhat irrelevant. At first, everyone will be overwhelmed by Muzan's battle form, as his strikes will be way more fatal compared to the original timeline. Most Demon Slayers will end up sacrificing themselves to save the Hashiras. So, how will they proceed? Well, moving on from here, one by one, everyone will start unlocking their Demon Slayer marks, starting from Giyu, and then Rengoku, and every other Hashira. But their attacks still won't be effective, as Muzan's regeneration ability is off the charts. The only one doing some damage will be Yoriichi's descendant. Thus, everyone will make a strategy with Yoriichi's descendant as the base of their attacks. They will launch a coordinated attack on Muzan, and sacrifices will be inevitably made in this last play. Guillaume will probably die from the backlash of using a Demon Slayer mark, and Rengoku will tank a strike for Yoriichi's descendant, as he is the one who bonded and stayed with him the most. Next, Obanai will body a shot for Mitsuri, while Giyu holds Shinobu's lifeless body. 4 important sacrifices will be made, and on top of these, Yoriichi's descendant will be able to make a decisive strike on Muzan, finally decapitating him and striking all of his hearts in one go, just like Yoriichi. And if this isn't enough yet, they will hold him off till sunrise, where the sunlight will burn him, ending the nightmare, resulting in Demon Slayer's win. That's it for the theory of what if Yoriichi's wife didn't die. But before you go, you might want to check out these 33 One Piece scenes that were censored. What are you waiting for? Click it.